Hi, my name is Shital Mars, and this is Sharing with Shital. I started doing these videos to talk about information about the current health crisis. And today I wanted to step away from talking about the disease specifically and talk about some different life aspects of what's going on right now. As a leader in an essential service business, I wanted to talk about my employees and what they're going through. I know that all of them are scared. They're all risking their health and their family's health and coming to work every day, and they're exceptionally brave, even when they think that they're not being. They're incredibly courageous people who get up every day and recognize that prescriptions have to be filled, and they have to be filled physically in the pharmacy, and they can't work from home. And they're doing everything that they can. As a leader of a business that is staying open right now, I feel like my role has shifted a bit in that I'm not just focused on sales and marketing and new business ventures or things like that. I'm focused more on the health and safety and well-being of my employees. And I think that's really critical right now. If you're a leader of a business and your employees have to go to work, it's important to acknowledge the sacrifice that they're making. It's important to listen to them, to pay attention, and to encourage feedback, because they're going to tell you that they're missing resources, that things are not working right, that things are difficult, and we have to address those issues. We have to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep our employees well and keep them safe. And as a leader, it's hard because it's limiting. As much as I want to provide all of my employees with PPE and all the sanitation supplies that I can possibly get, those things are really hard to come by. So I know that there's shortage. I know my staff is doing a lot with a little, but that's all I can do. But it's important that they see me doing everything that I can do, that they see me trying to work hard for them, that they see me caring, that they're sacrificing so much. And my perspective right now is my employees are carrying my business. They're the ones taking all the risks. They're the ones doing all the work. They're the ones who are valuable. I see it's really disheartening seeing certain employees feeling like they're expendable, and they're not. Each one is valuable. If something happened to one of my employees because I made a mistake or because I didn't listen or do as much as I can to protect them, I don't know how I'd look at myself in the mirror. I have to be able to say that I did everything I could to do right by them during this time, and that's my job. I think that's my job as a leader during this time. The other part of that, and I think what they're looking for me to do, is not only care about their well-being and provide the right resources, but to find the path and the strategy for when all this kind of fades into the background. So as company leaders, as CEOs, we're all doing the probability analysis. We're all saying there's 15 different scenarios of how this could end up, and what are we going to put in place to be prepared for any one of those scenarios, and what are the most likely events. And I think for my employees, they're looking to me to say, okay, we're going to do the work, but when all this is over, what are we going to do to make sure we're still thriving, that we're coming back as a company? And that's as an essential service that's continuing to run. Now, if you're a company that's had to close, you've put your employees on furlough, or you've laid people off, and that's really scary and hard. And now your job is to figure out, how can I emerge from this crisis and bring all those people back and have my company thrive and prosper when I can reopen. And what we have to do is kind of look at everything. And I don't think there's any leader, CEO, wealthy, not wealthy, political or otherwise, who can say, oh yeah, I've got this, everything's gonna be fine, I know exactly what to do. Nobody can say that. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows if there's another shoe that's going to drop. Nobody knows if this crisis is going to last for 6 months, or it's going to last for 2 months, or it's going to last for 18 months. We don't know. And so we have to plan for all the different scenarios while also keeping our focus on what's most important. And I think for me, what's most important right now are my employees and my customers. My customers depend on us to do delivery. My customers depend on us to give them medications when they most need it. And right now they need it. Right now they need to do everything they can to stay out of the hospital. So we have to work. We have to be able to continue to provide service. And I feel a bit conflicted too, that even though I'm doing as much as I can, and I probably am working harder than I ever have at any point since I've been working for my company, I feel weird that I'm home, which is an incredible luxury, and my employees are going to work. And I stay home because it's what's safe for me and what's safe for my family and what's safe for my employees. God forbid I got exposed to the virus and I come walking around my pharmacies and expose all of my employees. So I'm doing this partially for me and partially for them. But I do feel like it's a little bit unfair that I get this luxury and I get this benefit of working from home and they don't. And if there was ways, and I hope there's ways that I can reward that sacrifice in the future, and I intend to, but I want everybody to understand that being an essential worker is incredibly valuable, whether you're a cashier or a delivery person or in sanitation or whatever it is you're doing, even if you're not in healthcare, that what you do is so critical and so important, especially to me and to everybody out there, because we rely on you. And I hope you don't feel not valuable. And you deserve to feel like what you do matters. And what's interesting now, as I've stayed home and my husband has stayed home, is both of us are getting to learn our work persona. The person I am at work is very different from the person I am at home. It's very different from my wife persona. It's very different from my friend and persona, or as a mom. It's a completely different person. I'm probably a little harder, a little tougher, more direct, and that's a different kind of person to get to know, especially with my husband, who's used to seeing a softer side of me. And I've learned him as well. I've never seen him at work. I've never seen what he does, and his business is a little bit different than mine. They're open, but they've seen an incredible reduction in demand, and so he's trying to encourage all of his people and motivate them and lead them. And I've developed a really healthy respect for the kind of work he does, for what he is to his employees, what he is to his customers, and what that work persona is like. A really healthy respect for the stress he endures. And I think the same is happening for him, for me, is that he understands why when I come home from work every day, I'm incredibly drained. I'm feeling the weight of responsibility, and he's gotten glimpses of that over the last few weeks of what I have to carry to keep my businesses functioning. And in this process, I think we've gotten closer. And in this process, we've learned new things about each other. And I think that's a good thing. With my son, who's 4.5 and is home and doing distance learning in preschool, which I think is really humorous. I'm learning what he's like as a student. I'm learning what he enjoys, what lights him up. If I ever thought he was my copy before, he is certainly my copy now. He loves math, and he loves stories, and he loves art, and all the things I found to be enjoyable when I was a kid. He loves all the same things. And so we really bonded over our common interests in academics. And I loved getting to know the student version of him. And I think for a lot of parents, learning the student version of their children has been very eye-opening, not always positive. And, it kind of wakes you up to what you still have to learn about people you live with day in and day out. Even if you've been with someone 10 years, 20 years, you've known someone their whole life, you're learning new facets of their personality. And I think that's really interesting. And I hope it's a good thing. I hope for everybody we're learning good things about each other. And now during this crisis, I think times like these really test who we are and what we're made of and what we bring to the table for the world. And for me, the thing I want to put out there is some positivity. You know, for a lot of people, it's exceptionally difficult right now. I'm incredibly privileged to be able to work from home, to be able to continue my income. And for a lot of people, that's not the case. And I want to tell anybody that's struggling emotionally, financially, physically, that however you feel right now, it's valid. Those anxieties are valid. That stress is valid. That fear is valid. And it is hard and it is real, and it's okay to need help. One of the things I've learned over the last weeks, months, is how connected we all are as people and how much we need each other when times get tough. And that's what makes this so much more difficult, is that we can't run out and hug the people we love. We can't see our parents. We can't, be with our nieces, nephews, friends. It's very isolating. And, human beings are pack animals. We don't do well in isolation. We need each other. And for anybody that's struggling, it's okay to need someone. It's okay to need help. Nothing that has gone on right now, all the consequences of this crisis are not anyone's fault. And to place blame and say some people deserve this and that, that's totally counterproductive, because it's not true. Everybody is valuable. Every single person is valuable right now. And if you're feeling run down, you're feeling like it's hard to even function, that's okay. It's okay that you feel like that. And I think it's incumbent on people like me and people like who have the means and have the capability of lifting somebody up, that we do that. If you can lift someone up, please do it. Please go to your friends. Please go to your family and be a resource for them if you can. And if you can't, allow yourself to be helped. Allow yourself to recognize that this is more than any one of us and we need each other. And I want to do that for everybody I can. And I hope that if I fall, I have the people around me who will carry me. And I think that's something that makes me hopeful about the future, is that I'm learning some really amazing things about people. And I'm learning amazing things about my employees and how amazing they all are in their unique ways. And I'm tearing up right now, but they're special to me, and everybody I know is special to me. And I want to do as much as I can for them and do as much as I can for anybody who reaches their hand out. And I hope you all do the same. I'm here for you as much as I can be. Follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of those things. I'm Shital Mars, and have a great weekend. Safe weekend. Bye.